Is Sergio Perez really stepping away from Red Bull racing? The buzz around his potential retirement has sent shockwaves through the Formula One world. With recent struggles and Red Bull's reputation for quick decisions, fans are questioning what's next for the driver and the team. Let's dive into the latest leak. Let's start by exploring what brought Perez to this point. Since he joined Red Bull in 2021, Perez has had moments of brilliance, securing race wins, delivering podium finishes, and scoring crucial points that helped the team in its fight for the Constructors' title. Red Bull brought him on to provide stability and consistent points, a role that had been challenging to fill with his younger drivers from the development program. In many ways, Perez fit that mold perfectly, using his experience to make smart race decisions and manage tyre strategies effectively. These qualities made him a reliable teammate to Verstappen, and a key component in Red Bull's recent successes. But in Formula One, every performance is under the microscope, and a few underwhelming results can quickly raise doubts about a driver's future. The Brazilian Grand Prix was one such race that put Perez in the spotlight, and not for the right reasons. After trying to improve his car setup with a chassis change and other tweaks, he still struggled, finishing 12th in the main race. Meanwhile, Verstappen stormed from 17th on the grid to take first place, a stark reminder of the difference in their performance levels. Team principal Christian Horner was notably reserved in his post-race comments, expressing disappointment in Perez's results, without directly criticising him. However, his frustration was apparent, and this added fuel to the rumour mill. Horner's response seemed to hint that Red Bull might be considering other options for the future, although it's clear that they're still trying to support Perez in every way that they can. But what's really causing Perez's struggles? Is it simply that Verstappen is that much better, or is something else at play? Verstappen's aggressive driving style and ability to push the car to its limits have often made it hard for any teammate to keep up. Red Bull's car development is also heavily tailored to Verstappen's preferences, which may not suit Perez's more measured driving style. In most cases, this has made it difficult for Perez to get the most out of his setup, especially on circuits where Red Bull's car setup requires more precision and risk-taking. Additionally, Red Bull has a culture that revolves around the performance of its lead driver, something we've seen affect past teammates like Pierre Gasly and Alex Albon. This environment can be intense and for some overwhelming, as drivers must constantly prove themselves to keep up with Red Bull's high expectations. If Red Bull does decide to part ways with Perez, who might they bring in to replace him? The team has several potential candidates, each with unique strengths. Liam Lawson, Red Bull's reserve driver, is one of the most promising options. Lawson's already filled in for Daniel Ricciardo during his injury, showing impressive pace and composure under pressure. His recent head-to-head performances with established drivers, including Perez, have earned him respect within the team. Lawson has a solid understanding of Red Bull's culture and car dynamics, making him a safer, more familiar choice. Plus, he's young, adaptable, and would be eager to prove himself in a full-time Red Bull seat. Another potential option is Daniel Ricciardo, a name that carries weight with Red Bull fans. Ricciardo, who previously raced for Red Bull, is well known for his bold, overtaking maneuvers and charismatic personality. After taking a break from racing, Ricciardo made a comeback with AlphaTauri this season, although an injury temporarily sidelined him. His experience, popularity and strong racing skills could bring a fresh dynamic to Red Bull, but the question remains whether he could quickly match the high standards expected alongside Verstappen. Then there's Franco Colapinto, an emerging talent who's impressed with his adaptability and speed. Currently under contract with Williams, Colapinto could be a bold choice for Red Bull, though this would require negotiations and potentially some compensation to secure him. His recent performances have shown promise, although there are concerns about his consistency, particularly after an incident-filled race in Brazil. If Red Bull does look beyond their immediate stable of drivers, Colapinto would certainly bring a fresh face and a lot of potential. But the financial and contractual complexities could make this a challenging route. Reflecting on Perez's time at Red Bull, it's clear that he's contributed significantly to the team's recent achievements. His ability to manage tyre wear and maintain pace, especially in high-pressure situations, has brought Red Bull valuable points in races where Verstappen faced setbacks. Not only has he been a solid backup to Verstappen, but Perez has also provided insights and stability to a team that values consistency and strategy. Yet, despite his contributions, there's a common misconception that Perez is solely a number 2 driver at Red Bull. someone who simply fills the gaps left by Verstappen. While it's true that Verstappen is the team's focal point, Red Bull's structure is more complex than a strict hierarchy. They rely on both drivers to deliver strong results, even if the focus sometimes tilts towards Verstappen's successes. Why then would Red Bull consider moving on from Perez despite his valuable skills? Part of the answer lies in Red Bull's history of driver management. The team has a reputation for making quick decisions when it comes to driver lineups. Look at what happened with Pierre Gasly, who struggled to match Verstappen's performance and was swiftly replaced, only to prove himself later with AlphaTauri. Alex Albon faced a similar fate, moved out of Red Bull after failing to keep pace with Verstappen. This approach has shaped the perception of Red Bull as a team that places immense pressure on its drivers, sometimes leading to abrupt exits. With the backdrop, Perez's current struggles are significant because they may lead Red Bull to follow a familiar path, considering a new driver to keep their competitive edge. If Perez does retire or move to another team, his exit could impact the entire F1 driver market. A seat opening up at Red Bull is a rare opportunity, and any shift could lead to a cascade of changes across other teams. But where might Perez go if he does leave Red Bull? At his age and with his extensive experience, he has several possible routes. He could consider joining a midfield team, one where he could bring his years of knowledge to a less intense environment and perhaps enjoy more flexibility. Alternatively, Perez might explore other racing series such as IndyCar or even endurance racing, where his skills in tyre management and strategic thinking would be highly valued. There's also the possibility that Perez could take on a role within Formula 1 outside of racing, perhaps as a mentor for younger drivers or an ambassador for the sport in his native Mexico. This would allow him to remain connected to F1 while stepping away from the relentless demands of racing. In the end, Christian Horner and Helmut Marko will be the key decision makers in Perez's fate, each bringing their perspective to the table. Horner, with his focus on team harmony and long-term strategy, will weigh the benefits of Perez's experience against the potential of fresh talent. Meanwhile, Marko, who's long managed Red Bull's driver development program, will be inclined to consider younger drivers from within Red Bull's own ranks. If Perez's time with Red Bull does come to an end, his legacy as a driver will certainly be remembered positively. He's had an impressive career marked by resilience, skill, and an undeniable impact on Formula 1 as one of the most successful Mexican drivers. His achievements with Red Bull have only added to his reputation, showing his ability to deliver in high-stakes environments. Fans from around the world, especially those in Mexico, will remember Perez's time at Red Bull fondly, regardless of how it ends. For now, fans and analysts are watching closely, waiting to see how Red Bull handles the situation. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our latest updates. Do let us know your thoughts in the comments section. We'll see you guys next time.